Hello everyone, today we have new video review and this time we're gonna check fresh release from Flyhawk. As you can see, that's a ship kit which is molded in 1/700 scale and it copies HMS Penelope from 1940. It's also a deluxe edition, so there are several bonuses inside. As you can see, there are metal barrels for turrets, also some resin parts and also some PE threads, as you can see here. We have this beautiful box art on the front, and overall box design is quite typical for Flyhawk. Here you can see comparison with my hand, it's not that big. On the side we have several QR codes for contacts and products page, and on the other side we have pictures of other kits available from the same manufacturer and of course safety advices. On the back side of course there is nothing. So now just give me a second to open it. That's the top opening box, as you can see. It's quite thin, so I would rather ask seller to pack it carefully in order to avoid possible damage. And here we have first bonus. It is this nice picture with ship, and on the back side we have some short history note with technical specification. Really nice bonus which you can place in the frame or just on your table. I think this picture is really beautiful. Next we have assembly manual. This one is printed in form of typical Flyhawk brochure, and some modelers might find it a bit tricky to use because it is printed in vertical layout. As you can see, we have here the parts map. Assembly process starts from the deck, then we continue with hull, some minor elements. Here we have marking guide, as you can see here, and then here we have assembly manual for different aircrafts which are included into this kit. And of course they are combined together with this marking guide. Next we have, what is this? I guess this is a special add-on for the metal parts, so that you know how to add them on your ship model. And as you can see, there is also separate paints chart so that you know which colors to use. As far as you can see, they give paint numbers in Mr. Hobbit, Tamiya, and also some color codes designations. Next we can start with plastic frames. I will open first small plastic bag, and here we have turret parts which are molded on these small frames. As you can see, detailing is really nice. I mean, you can notice their size, they're really tiny. So get ready to work with tweezers, because otherwise it will be almost impossible to use them, to place them in the right spot. But otherwise it should be easy to work as long as you have right tools for such small dimensions. Next we have another pair of small sprues, again turret parts. And again, as you can see, really impressive molding quality. And once again I will repeat that you'll need sharp tweezers in order to manipulate all those tiny bits. Next we have slightly bigger frames, but steel parts are quite small. Here you can see them. Here we have different lifeboats, also special cranes and some other external elements for fine detailing of this kit. Overall they look quite nice, and in the meantime I'm trying to open the next plastic bag, where we have set of absolute identical sprues, and they're stacked in a quite interesting way. But if you saw Flyhawk kit review before, it won't be surprising to you, because they employed the same approach in previous kits. So here you can see it. As you can see, they are stacked with help of the special pins, so these frames basically won't move in any direction. They are connected together with this rubber band, so they are kept in place, and it is really nice design for the kit in order to avoid possible damage. Now just let me show you one frame out of this, which I showed a second ago. Here you can see these tiny elements. Really nice molding quality, and I think with careful application you can get a really nice result. And as far as I can see, there is also another one. Just give me a second. Another plastic sprue. And here it is. So here we have slightly different parts, which should also come handy for external detailing of this kit. Okay, now give me a second to open the next plastic bag. Here it is, because it is a sealed bag and therefore I will need to cut through. And here it is. So both frames are connected together with rubber band, at least they won't fly around. And actually I appreciate such packaging style, because some manufacturers just drop frames into the box and ship it like this, but here you can see that everything is well certain and sprues are taken care of in order to avoid damage to all those thin parts. Nevertheless, for example, here you can see the thin part, and it will require due care because otherwise it might be tricky to separate it of the sprue. So take your time, do not hurry with these parts, because they're really tender and it is really easy to break them in a second, let's say. Next we have another pair of plastic sprues. Here we have lifeboats and different external elements. Lifeboats are molded as one-piece parts, so you won't have to attach anything to them unless these are bigger lifeboats which were also present on this ship. And now in the meantime I'm opening the next plastic bag, again with lifeboats and also with tubes which will have to be placed on the deck. Here you can see it. Note that these tubes are molded as one-piece parts as I just shown, so you won't have to attach any two hulls together. It's just you install these parts into the right place, right spot, and you're ready to go. Actually that's quite a nice approach, because you won't have to deal with unnecessary seams in such visible area, and it should make assembly faster and easier, of course, so I appreciate it. Here we have several sprues for aircrafts, and of course aircrafts can be placed on the deck for more realism and better appearance of the ship. And I think there are a few kits which actually feature aircrafts in the standard out-of-the-box version, so it's a really nice bonus for those who would like to have a nice simple touch to external detailing. Next I have two more sprues. As you can see, sprues are mostly packed into, separated into pairs and packed into the separate plastic bags, and here I'm showing another pair of plastic sprues. Again, molding quality is really nice, I don't see any problem with them, so I think it should be easy to work with these parts despite their really tiny size. Then we have this paper, this nice paper. It houses this metal weight which should be placed on the deck, but it will be up to you if you would like to have it on your ship, or maybe you would like to assemble model without any metal parts inside. It's totally up to you, and there is no, let's say, need in placing this metal part in your ship, so it's more like a nice bonus, let's say. Next we have another pair of sprues which is secured with rubber band. Again, I'm removing it and I will show you those parts in a second. So here, for example, we have engine propellers and also again several lifeboats. Everything looks nice and molding quality is traditionally good for Flyhawk. And then another plastic sprue. Here we have some parts for external detailing, the superstructures, and some other minor bits which should be placed on the deck. Everything looks nice, so no worries about those elements. And then we have superstructure parts which are packed into the separate plastic box. As you can see, that's a transparent plastic box, so just give me a second to open it and we'll check it in a second. Actually, that's quite an interesting packaging style, because it is secured with tape, but okay, we just remove the parts and we are ready to go. So as I said, here we have superstructure parts which should be placed on the dock, and as you can see, they look really nice. Also we have some turret elements. Everything looks really good, and some elements are pre-molded, so you don't have to attach really tiny parts in place because they come molded in. But otherwise it might be tricky for those who don't have really good eyesight, because as you can see, size of these parts is really tiny, so it will be required to have some magnifying glass or maybe really good glasses in order to work with these parts. Then we have hull parts. Here you can see, let's say, the middle section. Give me a second to remove it. So here it is. It is molded as a one-piece part. It is quite long, and I can even zoom out so that you can see that it's really long for 700 scale, but still all superstructures will be tiny on this ship, so don't be confused by the size of this middle section. Then we have sealed plastic bag with more parts for the hull and for the deck. Here we have the lower section of the hull. Here it is. It looks really good, and inside we have special position elements which should help you with alignment, because otherwise it will be tricky to align these large parts together. And then we have separate parts for the deck. Just give me a second to remove them, and I will show them to you. So here we have deck parts. Here you can see the special recession space for the metal weight. Then we have this deck part. Then here is another one. Everything looks nice, and all those special position rise points should help you with proper placement of all those superstructure parts and other elements. Now I'm opening plastic bag with PE threads and also resin part. There is only one resin part, surprisingly, but still it should come handy for fine detailing of your ship. So PE threads are placed on the special cardboard. As you can see, of course, these are unpainted parts. Here you can see resin elements, and all those tiny metal elements should come handy for fine detailing of the ship, and in 700 scale it should look really impressive. And next we have an assembly manual which is printed in color, and it is designed specifically for PE parts. So as you remember, we had separate assembly manual, but for PE parts you have this brochure which will guide you on what to do. And as you can see, it is also supplied with special photos, because sometimes it is not enough to have the special drawing, the separate drawing of what you have to do. And next we have another plastic bag. Here we have the metal barrels. As you can see here, they are attached to this special blackboard, and here we have barrels for Mark 16 naval gun 102mm and 152mm Mark 23 naval gun. So all those barrels will be replicated with metal parts. And the last but not the least element here is this small Ziploc bag with decals sheet. Just give me a second to open it. So here it is. There is no mention where it was printed, so I can suppose that it was printed by Flyhawk themselves. But as you can see, printing quality is really nice, so there is nothing to complain about, and we have all necessary symbols for one marking option which is included into this kit. So that's all for this video review. This kit should be already available for the purchase. And of course, don't forget to write your opinion here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Bye!